Welcome back to the third video in our series, following the Sherwood Rangers Yeomanry as they progressed through Normandy in 1944. I have included links in the description of the previous videos. In the last of these videos, we saw how C Squadron of the Sherwood Rangers supported the 7th Duke of Wellington Regiment as they cleared a wood to the east of the Fontenay village. This was in preparation for their move today to clear St Nicholas's Farm. St Nicholas's Farm was acting as a blocking position to the overall goal of securing the ridge beyond Rauray. The ridge was a dominating feature of the area. Similar to the last video, I have mapped the Fontenay and St Nicholas area using combat mission. At this stage, Fontenay was in Allied hands, although it had sustained significant damage in the battle. St Nicholas Farm lay to the south of the town, was made up of a farmhouse, outbuildings, and was surrounded by orchards. The farm was held by a company of the 12th SS. The 6th Company Panzer Grenadiers of the 12th SS Division, Hitlerjugend, was supported by a number of Panzer Mark IVs, probably Germany's best tank of the war. The 3 platoons of the company were split to defend the farm and the surrounding orchards. 1st Platoon deployed in the bocage in front of the farm. 2nd Platoon was in the farm buildings. The 3rd Platoon deployed on the left flank of the farm. For the attack, C and D companies of the 7th DWR, short for the Duke of Wellington Regiment, had been allocated, with A and B companies in reserve. The tanks of the Sherwood Rangers C Company would continue to support. 10, 11 and 12 platoons of D Company were on the left side of the road, while 7, 8 and 9 platoons of C Company were on the right side of the road. The DWRs were part of the 49th Division, and they had their own attached artillery. Unfortunately, even with the resources of the Allies, it was being used today to support the Epsom attack, which was happening in parallel. This was a blow to the infantry tasked with taking the farm. Instead, the 143rd Field Artillery brought up their Sexton mobile units. The Sexton was a self-propelled gun, armed with a 25-pounder which could fire high-explosive shells, most effective in the support of an infantry attack. It could also fire armor-piercing shells in a direct fire mode. The gun is mounted on a Sherman tank chassis and was widely used by the British Canadians and other members of the Empire. The 25-pounder was probably an equivalent to the German 88 in effectiveness. The C Company commander called in the Sextons to do a preparatory barrage onto the fields and bocage. Sherwood Rangers C Squadron was also in place to provide supporting fire. The First World War had taught the dangers of this type of attack. To date, the Allies had relied on the Queen of the Battlefield, artillery, to prepare the way for the infantry. The Duke of Wellington's C and D companies left their positions at 9:30 in the morning and advanced across the open field. The defenders of St Nicholas Farm opened fire. On the left side of the attack, a Sherman tank was hit and exploded. The infantry hit the ground and sought cover. On the Sherwood Rangers tank pit, there was a report of a Tiger tank advancing up the road from the farm. The report of a Tiger tank could bring panic to both infantry and tank men. But on this occasion, it wasn't a Tiger, it was a Panzer IV at a distance they looked similar. As the Panzer advanced towards the DWR positions, Lance Corporal Dodds could see company fired a Piat at nearly point-blank range. With the infantry making no progress, C and D companies were called back around 1:30. The news of the failed attack reached Sherwood Rangers Commander Stanley Christopherson. A and B squadrons of the Sherwood Rangers were ordered down to Normandy. Christopherson met with the commander of the 7th DWR and also the operations manager of the division's artillery. It was clear that to take Rauray, the obstacle of St Nicholas Farm had to be cleared. The infantry attack had not gone well, so a new approach was agreed. The C Squadron of the Sherwood Rangers would lead the attack with the support of the 7th DWR, and this time the divisional artillery firing on suspected enemy positions. Once at the farm, the infantry would dig in, and A Squadron of the Sherwood Rangers would push on through to Rauray. The second attempt started at 1550, using the infantry from A and B companies. The attack was preceded this time by an earth and building destroying 20-minute rolling barrage. An enormous steamroller was how Kurt Meyer, the commander of the defenders, described this barrage. C Squadron was led by Peter Sillery, and he led his tanks out across the open fields, hoping the artillery had silenced any German tanks or field guns. The squadron attack plan had 2 troops on the St Nicholas's farm side of the road, supported by A Company DWR, and the other 2 troops on the other side of the road, supported by B Company 7th DWR. C and D companies were rested after the earlier attack. Stuart Hill's tank and troop were advancing on the farm side of the road, A Company DWR close behind. The formation proceeded wide as the farm and orchards. Suddenly there were 2 flashes from the farm area. 2 Sherwood tanks were knocked out. After a command from Peter Sillery, the right-hand troops swung into the orchard. Stuart Hill's tank burst through the hedgerow and fired at the surrounding trees and area. Stuart Hill progressed through the orchard, now joined with 2 other tanks, and they reached the farm buildings. Scattered elements of the 12th SS still remained after the bombardment. The defenders still had a number of the handheld Panzerfast anti-tank weapons, which in these close conditions could be lethal to a tank. As the farm was cleared, they proceeded across the road into the field opposite. The field was bordered by a low hedge, which did not seem to have any hidden enemy units. He swung left and headed to the low hedge facing Rauray. Rauray was probably around a mile away, preceded by a crossroads. To the left of Rauray was a wood. As they watched, a Panzer IV emerged from the wood. Stuart Hill's tank engaged the target 1500 yards. They hit it twice with the AP rounds, but at that distance it did not get a penetration, and the Panzer retreated back into cover. St Nicholas's farm and the surrounding area was secured. The infantry moved up and dug in. In the next video, we will look at how the A Squadron of the Sherwood Rangers took the lead from C Squadron for the assault on the Rauray itself. If you enjoyed the content, please like and share, and for future content consider subscribing. Take care.